Hello, everyone. Today I'm pleased to be talking to Michael Cash, who is a product specialist at Voiceitt. Has developed a speech recognition for people with non-standard speech. Michael also has cerebral palsy and has non-standard speech, so he will be using Voiceitt technology for this interview. Hello, Michael. Thank you for taking your time to speak to me today. How are you?
Well, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I want to first start off by um going back to when you were born. You were born with cerebral palsy due to lack of oxygen at birth. How old were you when you began physiotherapy and speech and language therapy?
You're right. When I was born, I wasn't breathing properly, and my parents knew I wasn't making the regular mouth sounds of a normal toddler. So they went and sought advice, and they gathered I had cerebral palsy. And when I was about 18 months, I began having physiotherapy and speech therapy.
Right. Okay. Wow. And also, that's a very well. I can relate to that myself actually. And in the early 1980s, you were one of the first pupils at your school to have a BBC microcomputer. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was very fortunate because of my cerebral palsy and lack of my motor control.
And how did you?
I'm unable to write. The technology has always been a great vehicle for me to produce nonverbal communication, and I was one of the first people in schools with a computer.
And was it? How did you feel when you got it? Was it easy to use?
It was my first computer, and I didn't think about whether it was hard or easy. It was just amazing to be able to type. But I would say I do find the normal keyboard quite cumbersome, and it's much easier to use a smaller keyboard.
I can understand what you mean about the big keyboard being a lot big. So to have that in my I could understand you when it's saying it's easier and smaller. And you had a very supportive head teacher at secondary school. How much of an impact do you think having a supported head teacher had on you gaining a place at a BTEC national computing course?
It was very important because when we first got to the examining body, they didn't want to allow me to use a computer in my exam or give me extra time. But that was the easy way to type my answers. Also, I needed extra time in my exams, and the teacher thankfully made some calls for me to enable me to use the computer and get the extra time that I required.
That must have been made a massive difference, because I know that when you're able just to get your answers down rather than having to get someone else to write them out for you, it gives you that much extra time and makes the exam more flowing and easy to do. And then you went on to complete a Bachelor's of Science honours degree in computing. What support did the university put in place for you to succeed?
My university lecturers were all very supportive, and they gave me more time to talk things through, or they gave me copies of the lesson notes because I couldn't write my own note quick enough, and they again gave me more time in my exams.
That must have been a real help, and I can see it definitely helped you to succeed, as you've said, and now you currently work at Voice. Is it? Am I pronouncing it right? Voiceitt,
Yeah, that's right.
and you work as a product specialist. Voiceitt's te- um how does Voiceitt special recognition technology differ from voice assistants like Amazon Alexa, or Apple's Siri or Google Assistant?
Close it really allows users to use their own voice to interact with technology, by emails and work-related documents. But we also integrate with ChatGPT, so you can ask questions.
That's very good, keeping up with current trends, as more people are starting to use this world of AI, and especially ChatGPT. So that's really good. And is there anything that you would say stands out as the biggest game changer in assisted technology?
I think the current technology that voices have been able to use your own voice to interact is amazing, and it makes video conferencing calls much more productive because other people can see what I'm saying and don't need to worry about, oh, you need to repeat myself.
Definitely, I can. It can be frustrating sometimes, and I guess voice it, like you said, it saves more time and helps it to be more productive. And you've also traveled the world. Where would you say is the most interesting place you visited?
One of the most interesting places is what we did foreign in Tanzania. And we went to places like the Serengeti and being able to meet with the animals was amazing.
Wow, I know Tanzania. I've heard had and family and friends go there, and they've said it's a really nice place and very hot especially.
It is, but it can be quite nice depending on the time of year.
Oh, and of all the countries you've visited, what's the best what's been the best place at supporting people with extra needs?
I think everywhere's got their advantages, but I'm in here and I have been to Whistler in North America where they got a special organization to take kids with disabilities.
That's very good. That's what every country should have, really. It's there needs to be definitely more of those organizations. And for people watching, what advice do you have for other people who struggle to be understood due to not having regular speech?
Just take your time and breathe and try and make yourself understood.
Definitely, breathing is one thing I always use, even with my condition. It definitely helps, and I can understand what you mean about taking your time. Don't rush, and you will get there in the end. And what advice do you have for people supporting someone experiencing barriers to communication?
I think someone needs to have a lot of patience and be a good listener and support the person to get their own answers. People may want to talk things through, but they don't always want the answer. They often just need a sounding board.
Definitely, a very good, well said. Well, Michael, it was a pleasure speaking to you and hearing about your early life transition through education and how, despite your barriers, you managed to succeed and get through, and now working at Voiceitt, which is an amazing organization doing amazing things for people who have a barrier to speech. Thank you guys for listening. Bye for now.
Thank you.